In a recent interview prior to the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Chris Pratt was asked about his future with Marvel Studios and continuing to play Star-Lord, the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And his answer was a little unsure in regards to pretty much every side of this conversation. So just because the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise has seen pretty decent profits doesn't mean anything. We recently talked about this with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The first two films had pretty high profit margins. The third film, no profit margin. So we don't know what could happen with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And again, it's going to take the entire box office run to find out. But recently, in an interview with the Rolling Stone magazine, Pratt was asked about playing Peter Quill again. And he says, and his answer is kind of, it's mental gymnastics. That's kind of how I perceive it. And more or less what he says is, he feels like he's done, but he also feels like he's not done, and that there is more to say. And he said he doesn't want to veer into spoiler territory, but he believes he could be back. It all depends on the story and what Marvel Studios decides to do with the franchise moving beyond the initial team we saw and what we see at the end of Guardians 3. And when asked about the ending, he kind of just says, well, you're going to have to watch the movie. I don't want to spoil anything, but the Guardians are definitely different, which I think is important here. Could they honestly write off Star-Lord? Like, could him and Gamora just go off and not be Guardians anymore and they leave their ship and the team to somebody else? Like, that could very much happen. So I see what he's saying here. It's like maybe his time as a Guardian is done, but not in the Marvel universe, which is why I think he's given us that sort of all over the place answer, which also comes at an interesting time where he's talking to different outlets about a DC future, and he's hinting towards it, saying, well, it depends on what James Gunn does, but I would be interested. So this could honestly come down to a contractual battle as well, where both sides could be fighting for him, and who's going to win, I guess we're going to have to find out. But it's interesting that he does very much talk about this uncertain future. Even if they do decide to keep him, he says, well, I don't know what they would do with Star-Lord, which makes me wonder, what exactly are they going to leave the character off doing? Like, is he going to have a happy ending, or do they just leave him off still leading the team? And then at that point, well, he's coming back, right? Like, there's no way he's not going to come back. So I guess we're going to know at least part of the answer soon when Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is officially out worldwide.